Hey everybody, it's Rolly. Just as I'm coming on, I get a frog in my throat. So if you are catching the replay, hashtag replay, if you are on live, let me know that you're here. I would love to know, to have you join in the conversation. So today, and I want to thank everybody who has commented on the post from yesterday, on the live from yesterday, because I really want to be able to tackle this whole self-love. And so, like I said yesterday when I was actually sharing, is that I'm going to be giving a self-love tip every single day as to how we can actually improve our own self-love. How can we actually make ourselves feel good? How can we really truly get deep into that that unconditional love for ourselves that we really need and deserve? So yesterday's tip was stop comparing yourself to others. And so one of the things that is, and we actually talked about how that sometimes that part is really challenging, right? So we want to be able to know, we want to be able to do as well as somebody else, or we want to not be as well as someone else. And it's just really important for us to be able to not compare ourselves, being able to see what other people are doing or how they're doing it. And it's like, oh, that looks really interesting, and I want to be able to do something like that too. That's not the same as comparing. So that was one of the conversations that I had with somebody yesterday, was that those two things are not the same. And so it's just really important for us to be able to do that. So, but on the same breath, it's really important for us to not worry about what others, not to worry about other people's opinion. And I will get in, sometimes I fall into that trap. So most of the time it's like, I don't really care. I'm going to do the things that I need to do. That's my Aries and my Aquarius moon. And it's like, I'm going to do those different things, and whatever it is that works best for me, those are definitely the things that I am going to focus on and concentrate on. But sometimes I fall into the trap, and it's really easy for us to fall into that trap. And when we fall into that trap, we need to make sure that we're not in quicksand that's going to continuously pull us back down into that pattern. And so, or into that, like deeper into that stick of mud. And it's so important for us to be able to just really be able to stand our ground and find the things that are really important. And so one of the things that for a long time, it was like, somebody thought that I was weird. It was like, oh my God, I don't want them to think that I'm weird. And so then I would be like so worried about what am I doing that's making people think that I'm weird, or that kind of thing. And now it's like, for the most part, like I said, because sometimes I fall into the trap, same as everyone else, but it's just really important for us to be able to stand on our own of what it is that we feel is really important. And so same as, so not just in terms of other people's opinions, but also about what society thinks or expects of us. So sometimes there are certain things that, and I see this all the time, and I hear this all the time, of, well, that person shouldn't be doing that. Well, who says that that person shouldn't be doing it? So unless they're actually harming someone else, then why shouldn't they be doing what it is that they're doing? And so it's just really important for us to make sure that that is something that we are doing, or that we share. And so in the description of this post is that I have the link for the women's conference that is coming up this weekend. And so, and I will continue to share it all week because it is open until Thursday. So if there is, if you've been kind of sitting on the fence, not quite sure whether or not you want to be able to jump in, this is really going to be one of the things that we are tackling during this conference, is how to be able to find the self-love. So yes, over the course of the next month, I'm going to share some self-love tips, but during the course of the entire weekend, we're going to have some amazing speakers, and we have some amazing exhibitors that are going to be sharing their own tips about that self-love, some of the things that they do, their tips and their tricks. And but then the other part of it is where everybody gets together and including the guests who have these golden nuggets. And I call them golden nuggets because they have these different things that they do in terms of their own self-care or their own self-love around that theme, around that I am enough thing, that gives us a different perspective sometimes. And sometimes it's just that one thing that somebody says that kind of draws you back in to like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. Hey, Irene, how's it going? And so Irene is actually one of our exhibitors, and she's actually going to be there with 2 exhibitor booths for the conference. And so she's going to be sharing her products and her services, and she's also there to help support her friend Shelly, who's also going to be there. And so there's lots of really great opportunities for us to be able to connect. We have a new chatting program that we are going to be using. There's lots of really cool things. But anyway, I digress. So it's really, so kind of going back to today's tip, it's about worrying about what other people's opinions are. And so, good morning, Francine. And so, one of the things, and this is really, really challenging, and this is challenging with even the clients that I work with, is that, and it's something that we come back to on a regular basis because we get hooked back into that, is that we can't make everybody happy. So the only thing that we can do is make ourselves happy. And if we can do the things that we love, do the things that feel good for us, do the things that that make us feel good, then it makes a huge difference in terms of how we are able to have that self-love. So a lot of people sometimes will actually define their own self-love and their own self-worth based on how many people like them and who is it that doesn't like them, and what can I do to be more likable, and that kind of thing. And it's just really important for us to be able to remember that we are on our own journey, and it doesn't really matter what everybody else's opinion is. It doesn't really matter what it is that everybody else wants or expects. So again, unless we're breaking the law or we are harming someone else, then those are completely different stories in terms of like, do what it is that makes you feel good, right? So I definitely do not condone anybody that says, oh, it makes me feel good to harm someone or harm something, or to damage property, or to damage trees or anything like that. So that doesn't make people feel good. And regardless of whether or not you think that that's something that makes you feel good, then that's not something that I'm condoning. And so that's not what it is that I'm saying at all. Because again, sometimes I get those comments or that feedback of, yeah, well, if this person wasn't doing that, and but this person is breaking the law, or this person is harming themselves, or and again, harming themselves is that's an entirely different story, but I'm talking about emotionally harming themselves. And so it's just really important for us to make sure that unless somebody is actually harming themselves or someone else, or that you are harming someone else, then it's not going to, that's not part of what it is that I'm referring to in terms of that self-love. It really is about being able to really 100% be able to do what feels good for you, and to set the boundaries that work for you, to create that space that is your space. And if people think that you're weird because of some of the things that you're doing, then let them think that you're weird, because it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. This is your journey that you're on. This is your journey for you to be able to be the best you. And so, so I'd love to know what it is that your thoughts are about the whole, don't worry about other people's opinions. And I know that from a friend's perspective, or from a working perspective, is that it's really easy for us to sometimes say, don't worry about what other people think. But like I said, we fall into that trap sometimes, and it's just really important for us to be able to make sure that we don't jump in the quicksand. And if we are in the quicksand, finding ways to be able to pull ourselves back out again without pulling ourselves down. So that is today's self-love tip. And so I will chat with all of you guys later, and have a great day. Bye for now.